So welcome to week 3. So week 3 is where we introduce our Sun Salutations. So if you remember from the introduction, Sun Salutations are where the yogis celebrate the start of a new day, the fresh beginning, a brand new day. So we use this part of our practice to really bring heat. It is our heart work space. It's where we bring heat into the body and the muscles, and we really speed up and bring some of the moves together. Now, the first time I did this, my mind couldn't keep up with the instructions and the movements, and maybe that'll be the same. So maybe today, synchronizing the movement and the breath might be much more difficult than it was with the last practice, but that's okay. Remember, we've got time, we've got the opportunity to try and redo this video. So what I can say is maybe the first time you might just make the moves. Maybe the second time you complete the video, you might be able to make the moves and add in the breath. But I swear, I promise, by the third time, you will definitely be able to synchronize the breath and the movements, and you'll be able to understand my instructions that little bit more. So we always start by coming to the very top of the mat. That way, when we step back, we've got the full range of the mat to step back on. If you haven't got a mat, maybe just try to have a towel at the top for your hands so that you don't find it sticky. If you haven't done the breathing, the introduction to the breath that we do at the start of every class, then please pause the video and do that now, because that really does set the foundations, get you into working with the breath and the movement before we come to the practice. So let's get started. Coming to stand at the very top of the mat, we always bring our feet and our heels together. Like we're visualizing that we're working through each part of the body, which starts with the toes. We ground through each toe, the big toe all the way through to the little toe. We press into the sides of the feet and the heels. We find length in the spine, and we squeeze all the muscles in the legs. So we're lifting up the knees. As we travel up, all of our quads, these big powerhouses of muscles, are engaged. Then when we get to the very top of the hips, I want you to squeeze and engage your glutes so everything is switched on. Squeeze and lift. And with our abdominals, I'd like to really think about smiling with these abdominals. So you can really lift and smile, and that also activates your pelvic floor. As we travel up, we often round our shoulders. So think about opening the shoulders, placing the hands at the side of the body, and finding length. Next, can you close your eyes? Now, as you close your eyes, can you find that length in your spine so that you can stack your vertebrae one by one? And visualize that your head is comfortably sitting on the top, not coming too forward and not leaning back. Now, once you've pressed through your toes and your heels, let's take a big clearing breath. Breathe in. And slowly and gently, breathe out with a sigh. Let's do that again. Breathe in through your nose, breathe in. And breathe out through your mouth. Now from here, we're going to breathe in through the nose, closing the mouth throughout the rest of this practice, and breathe out through the nose. Sweep the hands all the way up to the sky. Bring your hands into a prayer and look up. Good. This is our extended Tadasana. From here, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to come all the way down to the floor into our forward fold. Now, if you can't get your hands on the floor, bend your knees as much as you can so you can get your hands on the floor. Now, inhale as we lift and lengthen. We're going to straighten the legs, place the hands on the shins, and look ahead. Finding length, really sticking your bottom out and seeing if you can find that flat back. Breathe in. And slowly breathe out. Going all the way back down, bend your knees, get your fingertips on the floor, feel forward fold. Now your nose is coming all the way round to your knees. Now we're going to step back with that right foot into a lunge, and we're going to look straight ahead. Good. Now ground your hands through the floor. We're going to find a downward dog. Now take a moment in your downward dog, widen your hands, and see if you can roll through your toes like a ripple effect, so you can come all the way through into a high plank. Good. We're going to drop our knees and our chest and our chin. So we're coming all the way down to the floor. Press through the toes and come all the way down to lie on your belly. Now I want you to squeeze the tops of the feet, squeeze all the muscles in the legs, and see without squeezing too much in the hands if you can lift your head. Very nice. Coming all the way back down, tuck your toes underneath. Pull your legs back so we're in what we call a child's pose. Stretching our hands all the way along to the end of the mat. Resting your head on the floor if you can. Breathe in. And slowly breathe out. We're going to do that again. Breathe in. And as we slowly breathe out, we're going to lift all the way up into that downward dog. Now place your feet should be hip width. We're going to ground through that left heel so we can lift that right leg all the way up to the sky. Give it a good stretch. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath. Now look to the top of the mat, look where it's going, and we're going to slowly and gently take that right foot to the top of the mat. Now if you can't reach it there, lift it and place it at the top of the mat. And we're going to look straight ahead. Good, this left foot's going to come to meet the right foot, and we're back in that forward fold. Now bend your knees to get your fingertips on the floor, nose to your knees. Good, inhale, reach up and look up. Stretch the hands all the way up. Bring your hands into a prayer right above your head and look with your gaze all the way up to the fingertips. And then exhale, those hands come all the way back down into a prayer. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, bring that prayer all the way down to the floor. Bend your knees to get those fingertips on the floor, nose to your knees. Now inhale, slide those hands onto your shins and look ahead. Good, exhale. Forward fold. This time we're going to step that left foot back into a lunge, and we're going to look straight ahead. Feeling that nice stretch along that left leg. And we're going to find our downward dog. Rolling all the way through into that downward dog. See if we can drop our knees, our chest, and our chin. So we're sliding these elbows in. Come all the way down to lie on your belly. Untuck your toes and squeeze the bottoms of the toes in the bottom of the toes into the mat. Inhale and lift up. Good. Tuck your toes underneath. Find that child's pose. And bring that forehead to the mat. Breathe in. And breathe out. And again, breathing in. And slowly breathing out. Now from here, we're going to lift the knees, press into the hands and lift up into that downward facing dog. Now just like we did on the other side, we're going to ground through the right foot, so this time we can lift the left. Lift that left leg all the way up to the sky. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Now again, we're going to look to the top of the mat. Look where it's going and take that left foot to the top of the mat into a lunge. If we can't get it there, lift it and place it, and then look straight ahead. Good, that right foot's going to meet the left foot for that forward fold, and then inhale and reach all the way up. Exhale those hands to your heart. Very nice. We're going to do that again, and we're just going to do it that little bit faster. So feet together, heels together. Find that mountain pose, ground through the toes to your heels, engage all the muscles in the legs and the glutes. Smile with your abdominals, relax your shoulders back and down, hands to your heart. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, lift the hands, meet them into a prayer. Good, inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, bring that prayer all the way down to the floor, forward fold. Inhale, hands onto your shins, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Step that right leg back into a lunge and look straight ahead. Good, downward dog. Roll through the toes into that high plank, and then drop your knees, your chest and your chin. Press through the toes so you can come and lie on your belly and squeeze and lift all the way up. Good, tuck your toes. Find that child's pose. And breathe in. And breathe out. One more here. Now slowly and gently lift up into that downward facing dog. Ground through your feet and your heels. And then inhale, lift that right leg to the sky. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now look to the top of the mat. Look where you're going and take that right foot to the very top of your mat. Into a lunge and look straight ahead. Good. Left foot to meet the right foot. Forward fold. Round your nose to your knees. Inhale, reach up. Extend these arms all the way up to the sky and exhale those hands through prayer all the way back down to your heart. Good, let's do that left side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slide the hands and the shins, look ahead. Exhale, fold. Step that left leg back into a lunge. Look straight ahead. Good, down dog. Roll all the way through the toes into that high plank. Building strength in the wrists. Now drop your knees. Slide these triceps all the way down. Bring your chin to the floor. Press your toes into the mat so you can slide onto your belly. Inhale, look ahead. Good. Exhale, child's pose. Now take an inhale here and an exhale. And then one more inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to lift up into that downward facing dog. See if you can inhale and lift that left leg all the way up to the sky. And then look to the top of the mat. Look where it's going to go and take that left foot to the top of the mat. Into our lunge. And look straight ahead. Right foot to meet the left foot into that forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. We call this Namaste. So I hope you enjoyed these sun salutations. Do let me know how you got on. Remember, the first time you do this, it might seem really complicated. The directions and the instructions might seem really fast, but please try and repeat it again. Just trying to find that synchronicity between your movement and your breath. Thanks for joining me.